Welcome to another video. It is kind of the time of the year. I do want to re-rank my stuff, and today we're starting with Blend Bunny. But before that, the lip of today matching is Tint Bunny. Blend Bunny. This is the Sugar High Tinted Lip Oil in the shade Sugar Spun, and as you can tell, is a tealy color. I don't know how I feel about this because I kind of like it. I kind of don't. What do you think? Tell me. I'm getting used to it still. So, I initially planned to rewatch my Blend Bunny ranking that I did last year, but then I decided, you know what? I don't want to rewatch that. I want to do that ranking just out of the gut because who cares how I ranked these palettes last year? Your taste changes every day, every week, every month, every year. So I'm free to taste my change to taste my change to change my taste too. And it doesn't matter how I ranked them last year. Honestly, all that matters is how do I rank them right now? So it might be surprising, and I'm pretty sure that some of these did not change, but some of these palettes are new and maybe some are quite surprising to you. So let's start. I have 10 Blend Bunny palettes here to rank, and we're starting at number 10, the Surge palette. I don't know what it is with Surge, but I don't feel it. But I'm not feeling like decluttering it. The topic I really like. I absolutely love that. I love the concept. I love this ad of neons. But I'm not sitting here like, oh my god, I haven't used my Surge in such a long time. And I haven't. That's not even a lie. I should use that. Yeah. I truly should use that. I think there's nothing more to add. But it just doesn't give me the excitement. The shimmer formulation in the older Blend Bunny palettes is really not that good. Maybe that's a reason why the older ones are definitely in the lower places. But just because this is my least favorite Blend Bunny palette that I own does not mean that's a bad palette. It is truly not. It's just not sparking the feelings. At number 9, we have the All Done Up palette. And I think it is quite visible why this is so not my favorite. Everything is this muted matte. And I hate overly muddy shades. The quality in this one is good. Even the shimmers, they are insanely good. But it's just the mudds here. Maybe I feel drawn to this more towards fall. To me, I think there's sometimes a bit of a weird take on fall palettes because I divide fall into two fall types. So we have we have early fall. Early fall means to me the leaves are turning orange. There is still a lot of sun. It's kind of that weird transition from summer warm weather to more crisp air, and you have these beautiful oranges. You have glowing sun colors. You have red leaves. You have still greens on the trees, but it's all turning into that. And then we have later fall, where it starts to get foggy and wet and gray and muted, and that is the time when I feel attracted to palettes like this actually. Again, number 9, so not my fave, but I still do not feel like decluttering it. At number 8, we have the Dollhouse palette. A beautiful take on neutral colors, and I love the fact that we have 2 rows of shimmer here. And if these shimmers were a bit better, a bit more like in All Done Up, or even as good as in her newer palettes, that would have been so much more higher, even though this is neutral. But I like the concept of this palette a lot. I love the choice of colors actually. I really enjoy. Again, we have a row of mods, but I can look past that because everything else is so cohesive and nice. and has a certain, dollish take. I just like this palette, but I do not like it enough to put it up higher in my ranking. At number 7, Sickly Sweet comes in. And the only reason why Sickly Sweet is number 7 and not number 6 is for the fact that this is a pastel palette. But the reason why Sickly Sweet, although it's pastel, is number 6 and not number 10 is the fact that the variety of pastels, the depth level here, is absolutely stunning. First of all, I love the fact that this is not color coordinated. I know that a lot of people bash Blend Bunny for this. I love that. And second of all, you are able to create pastel looks, yes, but with a depth level without taking other palettes in to help them. I enjoy this. The shimmers are, oh my god. Ruffles, Crying Sparkles, and Sprinkles. These were the 3 that I love the most out of this. Cupcake is nice, not my favorite. What I'm actually missing in this palette is what I will criticize with other palettes. I'm missing a light ethereal shimmer here for inner corner highlights. But of course, you can use one of those more lighter shades, and I definitely have to take this in, I don't know, like in a 3 looks video or so, because I haven't used all of them here, but what I have used so far in this palette made me quite happy, and that from me. The hater. I'm the leader of the hate ship for pastels. By the way, did I say this is number 6? It's number 7. I'm sorry. Because at number 6, we have one that is fairly new to my collection, the Machina palette. My review for this went up last week? 2 weeks ago? Something like that. And when I posted my looks on Instagram with this palette, I got a very interesting comment saying that Machina is an underrated Blend Bunny palette. And it truly is. It is so underrated that people did not buy this, so that it's now discontinued. If it is still on the website, you can grab it currently for a 50% discount, which is really nice, which is the reason why I bought this. Do I think that this is a pretty palette? 100%. Is it my favorite Blend Bunny palette? 100% not, as you can tell, but I think it's a good one. There are some critical points to see. For example, I think that in those shimmers there is a certain inconsistency in the formulation that drives me a bit nuts, while I do think that the mattes are fantastic, just as always with Blend Bunny. That row of muddy olive greens, unnecessary for me. Everything else, solid good. Number 5, and I'm pretty sure that in the first ranking that I did last year, this was way up higher, the Lure palette. Oh my fucking goodness, how pretty is Lure? Most of those shimmer shades are mediocre, but that one shade that is ruling them all, that is kicking asses, that is basically saying fuck y'all, is Pearl. Y'all, Pearl is it. Pearl reminds me a lot of a shade that I do have from Cleona too, and of course the Cleona one is a bit better, but Pearl is carrying the shimmers of this palette on its shoulders. It is such a wonderful silverish shimmer with green and pink shifts and something unexpectedly beautiful that it makes me drool. The whole concept of this palette, this mermaidy, fish scaly, underwater theme is right up my alley. And this is one of the few Blend Bunny palettes where I still think that some of these are a bit redundant, like for example Lost at Sea and Catch Me, Jellyfish and Baited, bit unnecessary. But when it comes to the whole topic of this palette, everything in here is needed, everything in here has its place. At number 4, we have the also sadly discontinued Sugar and Grunge palette. I still stand by the fact that I find the reason for this to be discontinued is a bit dumb. if you missed that story, someone was sending Blend Bunny a like legal letter. Please don't ask me for that correct name of that certain type of letter, saying that grunge is actually a trademark word for them, and that brand is super small, and everything that is called grunge in them is like their lipsticks or so, or another upcoming palette. I don't know. I find it is a weird move to discontinue this because honestly, a word cannot be trademarked like that. Not the word grunge that we use since the 90s. So calm your fucking tits. But it is what it is. It was the decision of the brand. And I love the Sugar and Grunge palette so much that I put it on number 4. Oh, this palette is truly it. You have everything for color lovers, for the olive green shit lovers, but also for the neutral lovers, and especially for the neutral lovers that want to dip their toe into color. This row here, oh, and also I love the fact that the shimmers are not in the color coordinated columns. People went nuts. I even saw somebody destroying this palette and gluing the pans in the correct order. Like, girl, I love you, but you're crazy. But I'm crazy too, so who am I to tell? I absolutely adore this. It looks completely unused, but I swear to you, I used a lot out of this. The formulation in this is just insanely beautiful, and the shade Bubblegum here, Butterfly. Oh, look at Bubblegum. Such a pretty pink, and Butterfly, this beautiful, loud, tealy blue. Stunning, really stunning. And the more I talk about these top 5 palettes here, the more I want to actually use them right now. But I can't. I can't. Now we're tackling top 3, and at number 3 we have the palette that in the first time of my makeup life kicked me in my ass. The X Alice Atlantis palette. Remember, when this launched, I was unhinged. I couldn't be stopped to criticize this. To say, oh my god, this is such a cheap rip-off of the Carnival 5 from Be Perfect. Oh my god, this is so unnecessary. Oh my god. Oh my god, Ella, shut up your fuck. This boy made me eat my words like a peach pie. I used this for 5 looks, and if you wonder why does your palette look so unused, this is a new one. If you remember, mine came actually broken. When I snapped it back like this, that piece of paper here came out and ripped off, and Blend Bunny sent me a replacement. But until I got that replacement, I think I created already 4 looks with that first one. So I used this palette technically only for 1 look, but in total, with off camera, I think I used this palette in general, the Color Story, 10 or 12 times. It is one of my most used palettes. I'm pretty sure with that. The thing is, after I got the replacement, I do have an Excel spreadsheet. I deleted the old one because I do track the pan usage, like the real pan usage, not for replacements. So this one I think was used only once or twice so far, but in total I created a lot of beautiful looks with this. Oh, girl. We're not talking about these first 4 shades, nobody needs them. But everything else in this palette is such spot on beautiful. Formulation wise, so good. Color gradient wise, so good. Cohesive wise, so good. You're probably wondering why this is not number 1, but when I show you number 1 and 2, you know why. The shimmers in the center, they are very nice. And I understand why they went for topper shades in a palette like this. But I also want to say that I'm not the biggest fan of toppers in a palette like this. If I do a look with shades like these, I want to have a punchy shimmer, but I can use everything else from other palettes to do that. So but that's, I think, my biggest critique of this palette. I wish there were better or different shimmers in there. Number 2 is actually the newest release from Blend Bunny. It's the Longing palette. Oh boy. Oh boy. I highly recommend watching my video about this palette because I used in 3 looks actually every single shade. My biggest critique with this palette is the fact that all that's left and remembered might look different in the pan, but applied and swatched, there is no difference, like nearly no difference, the tiniest bit, the teeny tiniest bit of a difference, but not a lot. But shades like When It Rains and Love Letters, oh boy, you are not ready for these. Blend Bunny, please keep up this formulation. This formulation is what I want. The mattes are different in my opinion. There is something that happened between the mattes of this one and the mattes of Alice. It could be because of the color itself, but I think the whole formulation is different because these feel stiff, but not the bad patchy stiff, the good stiff. They feel borderline like a cream eyeshadow because they are there, but when you apply them, first of all, there's nearly no kickback in the pan. A bit is here on this side of the palette and here in those dark tealy greenish colors, but other than that, nearly no kickback. And when you apply them, nearly no powder fallout. What is this? What is the crack that's in here? What's the magic powder? We need more of that, Blend Bunny. Give us more. I can't wait for this year's releases. And number 1, and if you thought, oh, is she not talking about it? Of course. My beloved Trove Quad. That came out together with the Lure palette, and I truly wish that we will get multi-chrome shades from Blend Bunny in this formulation in a bigger palette. Just because they are so beautiful, you know what? I will give you now the pleasure and swatch them all four for you. Oh, do you see this? Is it okay if I lick my fingers now? Probably not. Treasures Untold. Then we have Cove. Dime Deep. And Mermaid Tears. They are so special to me. This palette was the moment I understood what people are loving about multi and duochromes so much. This formulation in the Trove Quad is so excellent. This is even better than some, not all of them, some Clionadh shadows. Clionadh, I'm sorry, I always say that wrong. I am personally very, very curious what 2024 is bringing for Blend Bunny. And while I praise the palettes here in that video, I just want to say something. Maybe Blend Bunny, if you see that video, should think about that. I am a bit concerned how long the brand can create palettes different enough with the concept they have, with this color coordinated columns. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe this is a concept that you can do all over again, but if I would take the time and start to swatch shades in here, aside the Trove Quad maybe, that look very similar to each other, I'm pretty sure that I will find 5, 6, 7, 9 dupes in these palettes. There are beautiful creators out there like Deandra Nicole that whenever there is a new Blend Bunny launch, she is comparing these color stories that look very similar. That is very helpful. And in that swatches, you can already see that some of these shades you have now twice or even 3 times. So I'm a bit concerned where the future of Blind Bunny is going, but I just saw on her Instagram stories that she has a lot of ideas for new palettes, so I'm very, very excited for that. Let me please know down below, what is your favorite Blind Bunny palette, and if you don't have one, why haven't you tried them? Is there anything that holds you back? Let me know, let's discuss in the comments. And if you don't want to comment Blind Bunny, if you do not have an opinion on them, but you still want to comment because of the algorithm, comment Trove. So thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.